House Republicans are not only struggling to govern, they're finding that they're literally reliving Kevin McCarthy's fight to get the Speaker's gavel in the first place, Mike Johnson clashing with hardliners like Matt Gaetz, and then relenting, as you may recall, because Gaetz and the hardliners weakened the speakership with new rules that mean almost anybody can quickly have a vote of no confidence, and those hardliners have used that power.
Kevin McCarthy likes to pretend that he makes coalition with conservatives, but all he really does is break his word with conservatives. Kevin McCarthy's true coalition partner on all things of substance has been the Democrats this Congress. He worked with Democrats on the debt limit bill.
Gaetz has proven unpopular within his party and, of course, among his opponent Democrats, but he is the one who did act on what he said he would do and get those others to oust McCarthy. Now, McCarthy's replacement, Speaker Johnson, who was supposed to be closer to MAGA, who was supposed to have fixed this problem, he is doing the very thing that Gaetz and others said was so terrible. For example, democracy, where you use the votes in the House to pass things. Doesn't sound that controversial, but Speaker Johnson worked with Democrats to get much-needed aid to foreign conflicts, including Ukraine and Israel. He also relied on Democrats to avoid the shutdown. And MAGA Republicans apparently think that they want to go into this campaign season with another civil war. Johnson could need Democrats to help him save his job. If there were a vote on removal, it would be Democrats who probably stop the bleeding. Che, it is really remarkable that this story is kind of a catch-up. I'm giving everyone that update because there's been a lot of other stuff happening. But we haven't seen a modern Congress, say, in the last 2 generations, successively fight over possibly firing 2 speakers in a row in one Congress.
No, we haven't. But, you know, it just feels to me like the Republican Party and their government representatives, Donald Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Mike Johnson, it feels like the Three Stooges. Like it's just massive incompetence and massive chaos all the way through. But I also think that part of the reason for this is that Republicans really believe that chaos, incompetence, bad government will somehow help them. They believe that Joe Biden will be ultimately blamed by voters for dysfunction in Washington, that Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, none of them will be blamed. And that's why we have seen today just 3 great examples of just chaos. The Trump trial, this drama with the speaker, and the Mayorkas trial, or lack of an impeachment trial that we had over there in the Senate. I mean, all of those stories are linked by one thing: Republican belief in chaos as a governing philosophy.
Yeah, and I would push you a little on that. I think it sounds right that they think if you can blame the other side, that helps. But McConnell and others have said, you know, you go too far with that, like a shutdown, and usually it's not the Democratic White House that is blamed. I mean, McConnell himself said that recently, just to pick an analogy of where government fails. Here was Republican Representative Armstrong today. Take a listen.
By throwing ourselves into chaos without having any kind of real succession plan. I mean, just to be honest, I don't know who would want the job if this succeeds at this point.
So that's kind of talking about the idea that the most powerful post that people used to spend decades trying to get to is completely undesirable under at least the situation they're in and the rules from Gaetz and co. And I want to play you one more clip of Matt Gaetz, who I mentioned is I don't say it to be mean. I think it's been documented. He's relatively unpopular, and he's referred to that. And yet here he is again, him and MTG driving the House. Take a look.
When I filed the motion to vacate, I undertook a careful analysis, promising the country that there was no way we were going to end up with a Democrat Speaker of the House. I'm not certain I can make that promise today as a consequence of the margin.
He knows how to count. The margin is so narrow and the problem's gotten so bad that what he's saying is they could really mess themselves up if in a narrow margin a few moderate Republicans, depending on the district they're in, decided, you know what, Speaker Jeffries is better than continuing this. Do you think that's overstated? And for people at home who look to you to explain politics, why in the world is Matt Gaetz and MTG still holding so much leverage?
Yeah, I mean, so when you think about Senator McConnell, he's thinking about swing voters. He's thinking about the suburban women. He's thinking about the Haley voters, because he has a different goal than Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz have. His goal is to get senators elected, particularly someone like Larry Hogan in Maryland, where you have to think about those kinds of voters in large numbers. Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene are playing to the base, and they're playing to the Republican influencer economy. They want to appear on Steve Bannon's podcast. They want to get more follows on Truth Social. They are playing for book deals. They are playing for Fox News appearances. That is a completely different incentive structure than trying to win elections.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.